Hey, this is Kim, and I'm talking to Alia today, a friend of mine that I met online. She also does the carnivore diet, and we just thought we would chat a little bit today, and I could ask her some questions and see what she has to say.
Great.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks. Busy
Good.
day at
Um,
work.
you what?
A busy day at work and happy to be here talking to you now.
Good. Me too. First things first, just wanted to ask you why you decided to start a carnivore diet.
Sure. So I was doing keto for a while, on and off for years is a while, and I could never stick to it. And my weight had gotten up to 210 pounds, almost 209.8. And I was having lots of digestive issues and irritable bowel issues. And I had been listening to like Dr. Berg and Dr. Chafee for quite a bit of time. And then I just decided one day, enough is enough. And I just started. But I watched a lot of videos about it because I actually heard about the carnivore diet maybe even up to 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And I thought it was, just eating meat. That's not for me. That's not for me. That's a little funny. Maybe some people do that.
But you thought it was kind of weird, like I did.
Yeah.
That way. Yeah.
Yeah. I did
Um,
maybe being crazy. Maybe that's a little
yeah,
extreme.
like I
Yeah.
really thought that people were nuts for doing carnivore. So what is the most noticeable difference for you since you started carnivore?
I think there's three noticeable, three of like equivalent value in my mind. One would be sleep is dramatically improved, and I wasn't expecting that at all. But first, I talked about irritable bowel, and I literally don't even remember that that was even a problem. But that's like why I started. By the way, I am so bad at going to a doctor. I was never diagnosed with anything I'm going to talk about. It's just what I experienced, like
Okay.
or like regular frequent diarrhea over years, bloated constantly, burping, farting, all the time. So I forget that that's why I even was one of the reasons why I wanted to try this, and that was handled in like a week. So then,
Oh wow.
yeah, crazy, crazy years
So
of
you had the diarrhea beforehand,
yeah, I had it
not
beforehand.
after. Did you
No, it
have
got
any after?
only if I had like too much magnesium, or I think that happened once, like a couple of specific times it happened, but not like the crazy diarrhea that you hear about on carnivore. But I've had that
Okay.
issue for years, so it was like my stomach was like or my guts or whatever. The whole digestive
Yeah,
tract
yeah.
was like relaxed. Finally, relief. Um, so I will say that that's not even one of my three most noticeable changes, but that obviously should be the most noticeable, but I don't even remember it.
No, I mean, honestly, you know, my Candida, that's why I started this, but it's
Yeah,
not the most noticeable by far. Because when you learn
interesting.
to live with something like that, I think, you just
Right,
kind of deal with it. So
right.
I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
So that was
S-
also one of my questions was about,
yeah,
did you experience diarrhea afterward? So,
not a
um,
noticeable enough amount that I even cared about.
yeah.
No, but the most noticeable one is sleep. Like I've had way improved sleep. I sleep super deeply, and you understand this as a mom. You're pregnant, you can't sleep. You're
Yeah.
nursing, you can't sleep. I had my son. He was a really good sleeper, and he was born with like a little hole in his heart. You've probably heard of that that healed up by itself. But he slept a lot the first year. But my daughter didn't.
Oh.
And we were Netflix buddies all night long for probably the
Aw.
first 2 years. And while I was nursing, I don't know how many times I went to sleep at 11, got up at midnight, and was up till 4, and then working at 9 o'clock the next morning.
Oh,
It was
wow.
crazy, crazy. Maybe it wasn't every night, but it was so bad. So between two pregnancies back to back, and then my daughter that didn't sleep, and then nursing until she was 3 years and maybe 4 months, and when we finally cut off the boobs with her, my sleep was terrible. And then after that, I just think my body was on fight or flight. And as a mom, you know,
Yeah.
like the mom spidey sense, you hear something and you just like wake up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a super heavy sleeper and with the babies, I would just wake up like that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So, but now I'm a heavy sleeper and a deep sleeper. And I could even get less sleep sometimes and feel totally okay. And before carnivore, I would watch a lot of TV, and this ties into my sleep also. And I would sometimes just stay on the couch and watch a movie or watch TV until I fell asleep. And that could be at midnight, or that could be at 1 or 2
yeah.
in the morning. Whenever I finally like the body couldn't stay awake anymore. You understand?
Yeah.
And then I would have terrible sleep. So this sort of cycles went on for many, many years. And then into carnivore, very rapidly into carnivore, my sleep totally changed. And I'm sleeping, I don't know the last time I slept so well. Sure, I've had some rough nights, but over in the last 4 months that I've been on carnivore, like similar of it's always been better than what it was before, but some nights not as good as what I consider my optimal sleep. And now I understand that. So that's one huge difference is that I sleep. And I think that ties into your mood also. So you're eating good, you're
Oh
sleeping better,
yeah, for
you're
sure.
not as cranky. I'm not perfect, but I'm not as cranky. I'm calmer. I handle things better. If
You're
somebody
not
says something,
perfect.
no, no, nobody. I'm not a saint. I'm not a saint, but it's easier to be saintly when you've slept.
Yeah, yeah, for
Or like
sure.
things that would really irk me before, they kind of not every time, but a lot more. It's just like I can like not let it bother me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just keep that a part of the sleep. So I said three things. What was the second thing?
So wait, before you go on, I have one follow-up question on the sleep
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So what about going to sleep? Like
Oh,
when
okay.
you lay down, did you have trouble where did you have prior to carnivore, did you have any insomnia or did you always go right to sleep? And how is it now?
Oh, okay. So I don't, again, never diagnosed with anything. A family member of mine has insomnia, and so that person just does the night shift. And
Yeah.
I'm not that bad. But there would be times I would just lie in bed and be like, I can't sleep, I can't sleep. This is annoying. I hate it. And now there's been a few moments of that in the last 4 months, but sometimes I would be like, close my eyes, hit the pillow, and 1 minute later or less, I'm sleeping. And that's a totally different scenario than just like sometimes lying in bed for 2 hours or an
Yeah.
hour,
Yeah.
even half an hour. Like all of those situations are not optimum. And that's completely changed where now I'm like, oh, before I would be like, oh, it takes forever to fall asleep. Then I fall asleep, like some level of low sleep. And then I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would like look at my clock. Oh, I have to go back to sleep for 3 hours. And like it would be like annoying. The whole sleep
Yeah.
situation would be annoying. And now I sleep, I wake up, and I'm fine. Like you were saying something about being up at like 3 in the morning. Were you just awake with energy?
I'm a night owl. I've
Oh,
always been a
okay.
night owl. I work day shift now. I worked
Oh,
night shift
okay.
for years, but that had nothing to do with it. I've just always been a night owl. My dad was a night
Okay.
owl. 3 o'clock in the morning is prime time for me.
Oh, okay. If
Yeah,
I've woken
it's
up during this last 4 months at 3 a.m., it's because I fell asleep at 7:30 with my kids and was awake at 3 a.m. and I just started my day. And
yeah.
uh before I went on vacation, because I'm still toasted from my vacation and being at the beach for 3 or 4 days. I'm still recovering from that. But before I went on vacation, I would wake up at 4:35, 5:30 morning and just be awake. And that's another noticeable huge difference.
Oh wow. I
Yeah,
see you're totally opposite from me.
but
But go
yeah.
ahead.
Like before carnivore, if I had to wake up early, like out of necessity, I had to wake up early and do something early, I would feel really bad. I just, maybe not all the time, but I remember one time waking up and I'm like, I'm going to throw up. I feel like a zombie. I got to lie down in bed again. My head hurts. I
Oh
feel
gosh.
dizzy. And now I just wake up and I'm ready to start my day. I do have my coffee because I love my coffee, but I don't need my coffee to start my day. It's just part of my morning ritual now.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, like I said, I'm totally opposite from you. I was always super, super sleepy my entire life. I was just like a zombie all the time, sleepy during the day,
Okay.
sleepy at night. Um, would take naps, sometimes mini naps. And now the thing that I notice is not only do I not need as much sleep, like 6 hours, and I want to jump up out of the bed, but I have this really weird thing that happens in the morning now that I'm on carnivore. I don't know what causes it. Maybe it's just that morning glucose spike that you have, the
Hmm.
what's it called? Anyway, you have a glucose spike every
I
morning,
think it's
and
called
it's
the dawn
the dawn
phenomena.
effect, the dawn
The
effect.
dawn effect. Okay, yeah.
So I don't know if it's that or not, but something makes me incredibly restless now. When I wake up, it's almost like I have restless leg. I just lay there and I just toss and turn, and that's not like me at all. I mean, I'm just a super sleepyhead. I could go back to sleep normally and just be, sleep for another 3 or 4 hours, and I
Oh,
can't
wow.
anymore. So it's good though because
Yeah.
you want to get up and do things, and well, I do now. So all right. So, do you see yourself doing carnivore forever now, or do you want to go to keto or ketovore, or, what are your thoughts on that?
I think I'm going to be sticking to this for the unforeseeable future. When I started, I was planning on when I started, I was planning on doing this for like 3 months and then adding back in some vegetables, like low oxalate sort of vegetables. And then
Uh-huh.
I got to the 3 month mark and had zero interest.
Yeah.
So, so I decided, no, I think I'm good with sticking to this right now. I don't know if in the future, if I need to reintroduce vegetables, I will. Maybe avocados, maybe what's it called? Sauerkraut, like fermented vegetables, but I have no interest
Yeah.
at the moment.
Oh, Siri thought you were talking to her, evidently. My watch was talking to us. Okay, so is there anything unexpected that has happened since you started carnivore? Or should I say, what's the most unexpected thing, if you haven't covered it already,
Sure.
that's happened? Or just the weirdest symptom, or you can go a number of ways with it.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, we talked about this before, but, and I'm going to preface this with saying I've never been diagnosed with endometriosis, but, um, had terrible menstrual cycles for torturous, excruciating menstrual cycles for 20 years. Maybe I was lucky sometimes and it wasn't as bad as other times. Or when I was on the pill, which by the way, ladies, don't go on the pill. Terrible idea. Terrible. I would,
Mm.
um, because that screws you up also, screws up your hormones and everything. There's so many bad side effects connected to that, including blood clots. That's scary. Like, don't do
Yeah,
that.
that's
So, but that did ease it up when I was on the pill when I was having major issues with my menstrual cycles. So that totally changed a lot after having kids. However, I still had annoying periods, obviously, because periods are annoying, right? They're supposed to be, right? That's what every
yeah,
woman says. They're
that's kind
supposed to
of
be annoying, right? And I would still have like leg cramps, those thigh cramps that happen in your legs from like your knee, or maybe like random butt pain. I don't know how to explain it. Like, all these terrible things that are associated with
yes.
this. So 3 weeks
Yes, we call
into
those the shooting booty pains.
shooting booty
Where you're just like,
pains. Uh,
you know.
so weird. So many. And the funny thing is, I think that only women that have had this will understand. But some girl was also telling me, just as an aside, that she experienced all of that, but several doctors told her she never had endometriosis, but she would still be fainting during her menstrual cycle. So even if you don't have endometriosis, but you just have a shit period, this might help you.
So did she actually have surgery? Because that's really the only way that they can diagnose endometriosis.
That's what I didn't ask that because it was just on social media. She just told her several
Oh,
doctors told her no, and I never had surgery. And I want to go back to this. The reason I never knew about this until I did research later in life is because I thought what I was experiencing was normal. I just had a low pain threshold. Does that make sense? So I
oh,
thought that
yeah.
other
You
women could
probably
deal with
actually have,
this.
I was
I
going to say, you probably actually have high, you know?
because I would ask people for help and they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I have cramps also." You do understand? And it's not
Yeah.
the same. So I just thought something was wrong with me, and I like in my ability to handle pain. Um, because why am I remember a meeting I was fainting. I could literally go on for hours, story after story, and I know you could too, because you experienced this also. So let's get back
Yeah,
to
I
3 weeks into carnivore. So I'm gonna say after babies, totally different, still annoying. 3 weeks into carnivore, I had my period showed up early, so it was adjusting my hormones, and I had zero pain. And my body, for the first time ever, like felt a relief associated to my menstrual cycle. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I think that you're supposed to feel
Yeah,
like a relief, like a
absolutely.
renewal. You're renewing your hormones, you're getting rid of all you're shedding the lining in your uterus. Like I think it's supposed to be like a relieving situation and not a terrorizing situation, which even even if you
Well,
don't have, yeah. But I
I
do
mean,
want
it's
to say
definitely going to
something.
be it's definitely going to be associated with some cramping just from the nature of what gets the lining to shed.
Oh,
However,
sure.
it shouldn't be, the cramping that we experienced, like,
Right.
on the couch for days
Yeah.
feeling like you were near death. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. I will say that the last couple cycles before my period, like before it even started, I've had like a random like 1 hour of intense cramping, and then it abated and it was fine. But every time my period has shown up, I almost don't feel anything, like
that's
almost
good.
nothing.
That's
And I
good.
think that is really associated to eating the higher animal fats, eating the red meats. And by the way, every period I've ever had, I've always craved hamburgers or carne asada tacos, and give it to me right now. And it was like, I think my body was trying to tell me you need to eat the red meat.
Yeah,
But now I almost, during the actual period itself, I don't experience hardly anything. Also,
that's
I
good.
used to be extremely emotional. You can guarantee that my husband and I, who's sitting right next to me, we get into a large argument during my period. And
Yeah.
I don't think we've had that happen in the last 4 months. So it just kind of is so
Yay!
and during the period.
I have to applaud that because I had the
Yeah.
same issues back then.
Yeah.
No longer have the old uterus, but yeah, that's any improvements on your life is good, and
Yeah.
especially with you and your spouse,
Yeah,
that's in a pretty important
exactly.
relationship.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh, then we can just talk about the sex drive increasing also.
okay,
Unexpected
let's do
result.
it.
No, but let me talk about this menstrual cycle thing for 1 second. So my thought is
Okay.
that you're eating the beef, the butter, the bacon, and eggs, but you're also cutting out all vegetables, which could be inflammatory. You're cutting out all the carbohydrates, which are a problem, like all of the refined carbohydrates and all of the
Yeah, the
seed oils.
process,
I
you
think
know.
all of those things affect more than we understand our menstrual cycle. And I heard a doctor talking about
Yeah.
endometriosis being that it could be autoimmune, and carnivore really helps people
Mm.
with autoimmune conditions.
Yeah. I mean, it makes
So
sense to me, but
yeah,
I'm no
yeah.
expert, but it makes sense to me.
So
Um,
I have one more goofy side effect.
okay.
Let's see. I don't use deodorant anymore. That's a
Me
goofy side
neither. Me
effect.
neither. Well, I won't say I don't because on days that I go to work, I just feel kind of obligated. I don't know. I feel like I'm worried if I don't
Oh
use it.
yeah,
But at
sure.
home, I have not used deodorant in probably 2 or 3 weeks. And I keep doing
Nice.
tests. Like I'll go
Yeah.
out and vacuum the pool and get really hot and, sweaty. And then I'm like rubbing my hand there and there's nothing. It doesn't
Nothing.
stink. It's
If I
amazing.
no, if I go out somewhere, I'll just toss some deodorant on just to be sure,
Yeah.
but I haven't needed to use it at all. And that's just a very weird side effect.
Yeah, it's totally unexpected.
Yeah.
That's what I would definitely list for my unexpected.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
let's see here. Okay. Let's see, have you had any negative symptoms? I know this is probably in the carnivore community where we want to, we love carnivore and we want to constantly
Right.
keep it in a positive light.
Right.
Are there any negatives for you?
When I started, if I would eat, and sometimes this comes up now, if I would eat too much fat, I would be nauseated afterwards. But
Oh, okay.
specifically the fat of pork. So I have to watch it because I love pork belly and I love bacon and I love like
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
fat. So, but if I eat too much, I was getting nauseated. So I was taking like hydrochloric acid supplements and that was helping. Um,
Oh,
that's like stomach acid, basically. It's a
uh-huh.
supplement of stomach acid. So I was taking that. Um, and, I experienced that once again last week. I think it was last week, the nauseousness from eating too much fat. So I think that would be the only negative thing I've experienced so far. I think because we already
Yeah,
covered that I didn't have the classic diarrhea. The carnivore diarrhea
exactly.
didn't have that.
Exactly. Okay, um, so what is your favorite thing to eat on carnivore? I think I know the answer already, but go ahead and tell us.
Um, I actually love a really good steak, medium rare, and I'll eat that if I could. A fatty steak, though.
Yeah,
I stay away from the lean stuff. Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
not as good.
No, it's just not as
Where's
good. I
the
love a good
flavor?
fatty steak. Where is the
Yeah,
flavor? Yeah, and it doesn't keep you satiated. You need
exactly,
the fat.
exactly.
And I think women need the fat more than men, and I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but I think that's a true statement. I think we need more to regulate our hormones and keep everything even keel.
I mean, I agree. And this
Yeah.
is, it's based on my own studies outside of being a nurse. So,
Oh, okay.
it's I didn't learn that in school, but that's I know what I experience with my own body, and I trust my body and I trust my judgment. I think that you just know sometimes
Right.
so I don't need any studies to know that helps my hormones, and it definitely helps keep me satiated, and obviously it helps me lose weight. So it's
Right.
good.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and then also the fact that there is saturated fat. There's no maximum, according to I think it's the American College of Cardiologists
Yeah.
says that there's no max on saturated fat. They're not concerned about it causing heart disease, but nobody knows that. That's
Yeah.
baffling to me. Anyway, I'm interviewing you. Sorry.
It's okay.
um, so, do you have on the steak line? How do you cook your steak? Like just on an
Uh,
average day
I just throw it in the frying pan.
in the
That's
frying
all.
pan. So
Yeah, that's
you do
all I
it
know how to do it.
the whole time in the frying pan.
Yeah.
You put like what
Oh
do you put
no,
in
okay.
there?
So recently I've been putting the frying pan, cooking it rapidly on both sides, taking out, chopping it up, and throwing it back in the frying pan with some lard to cook it a little bit
Oh,
more. But not
I always
if I
like to
cook
get
it
new
too
ideas.
if I cook it too much, it's too chewy. So I'm still trying to make sure it's red, but so I cook it a little bit on both sides,
Yeah.
salt, lard, and I'm good. But it'll get watery, so I'll like throw the water out before I throw it back in the pan, if that makes
Huh.
sense.
Yeah, it does. I usually do mine in the air fryer because I actually like it in the air fryer. So, and it's quick and easy, and I don't know, it just makes it perfect.
Yeah.
But I use my thermometer to make sure that it doesn't get overdone. So
Nice.
do you have any secret recipes or tips for established carnivores? Like anything that
Let's
you would
see.
just tell your carnivore buddy?
Okay, so today I made a new recipe for scrambled eggs.
Oh,
So you
and
have some lard in there, and then you throw 2 spoons of butter in there. And I was scrambling like 6 eggs with salt. It's and then you take it off the heat before it's fully cooked. So it's almost totally cooked, but then take it off the heat because it's still going to cook a little bit. If you kept it on
yeah.
the heat till it's cooked, it's going to be really dried out. So low heat, take it off the heat before it's fully cooked. It's literally like the fluffiest, butteriest, most delicious eggs because it kind of tastes a little bacony also. So
Oh, I might have to
that's
try that.
yeah, a little bit of bacon grease, 2 spoons of butter, 6 eggs. You can add more eggs if you want. It was
Oh, it sounds
delicious.
it sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Um, so let's see here. Now I want to ask that same question for do you have any secrets or tips to give people who are new to carnivore or who want to try carnivore for the first time?
I would say ease into it slowly. Like I said, I was already doing carnivore on and off for years, so I was kind of used to eating low carb, even if I failed miserably. But if you are not keto and you're eating a terrible diet, ease into it slowly. First, take out the carbohydrates, like the refined carbohydrates and the seed oils, get those out immediately. And then slowly start taking out like the fruit and then the vegetables, and then get onto the carnivore. But maybe even over like several weeks do that. I think if people just plunge into it, I was listening to somebody else today, it could be a little bit rough to like experience the complete shock of changing your diet.
Okay. Do you take any supplements or do you drink electrolytes? What do you add to your carnivore diet, if anything?
Like I said, I was taking hydrochloric acid, and if I feel nauseated, I will take that because that just adds more stomach acid in there, and it helps handle whatever it is for me that's making me nauseated. If I salt everything to taste, even saltier. This morning, my son's like, "Mom, this is too salty." I'm like, "No, this is perfect." I like salt. And we have magnesium in the house and potassium in the house, and I will take those if I feel like if I have leg cramps, I'll make sure to take some more magnesium or sometimes potassium. If I'm headachy, I'll take a little bit of potassium, but I don't take it like religiously every morning. But that's another good thing. If you're starting, you should have like Element or something like that. I don't take those specific brands because I don't have them here. Dr. Barry recommends Keto Chow or Keto Chow, whatever you want to call it, and he helped formulate that formula. I don't have access to those things, so I just find what I can. But I think if somebody's starting, they should probably take those at the beginning.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I usually recommend for people to do something that I actually did in the very beginning of my keto journey. I can't remember who told me to do this, but basically I would drink a cup of chicken broth, just the, regular sodium chicken broth. It's probably not the best because I think it has a little MSG in it, but and I don't know what you guys have there, but this was by the brand Knorr, I think it is Knorr, and it's in a little cylindrical container, and it's powdered, and I would just take it to work with me, and I'd drink it once or twice a day, and it's just something warm and tasty, and kind of wards off the hunger a little, and then it also, when you get that sodium up, the other electrolytes tend to follow.
Exactly.
I've avoided the keto flu pretty successfully over the years.
Nice.
Let's see here. What do you think about cheating on carnivore, or do you do that, or just tell me about that.
So I have cheated a few times. So first, let's talk about the fact that I just got myself off of sweeteners. So I've had that. If people consider that cheating, like I said, ease yourself into this. Like,
you know what I mean? It's what you consider cheating too, because not everybody considers
a fake sweetener cheating. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I just got myself off of that in June. So, and right now I'm getting off of cheese, and I don't think necessarily those are cheating. But specifically trying to cheat, I had some like keto chocolate. I was craving chocolate and nuts one night. And so I got myself some cashews, and they were like cooked in seed oils. Bad idea. And then I had this keto chocolate. It tasted terrible. So I gave that away. I couldn't even eat I wanted to eat the whole bar, and I couldn't. And then I ate all the cashews, and the next day my stomach was like,
I understand that. I tried some nuts on vacation, and I never realized that nuts made me feel the way that they do.
Right.
And so that's a no for me.
That's a no for me now too. So I don't remember other times really cheating so much. I'm sure there have been, but I know that every time I have, it's gone bad instantly. Like I had a couple bites of salad with some salad dressing. Okay, that would be cheating on carnivore diet, right? But the problem with the salad dressing, I think it had some seed oils in it, and I was like farting in an hour. So almost anytime I've cheated, It wasn't good. It didn't taste very good. And my body instantly showed me to not do it. I won't consider this cheating. I used to be a huge tea drinker, and by the way, I drink tons of coffee. And so one day I had a black tea. I was trying, okay, I'm going to do a tea now. I'm going to drink less coffee in the afternoon. I usually drink tea. And I drank a black tea and I was like nauseated in an hour. And I'm like, is this the tea doing this? I don't know if it's the tea doing this because I've never experienced this before. But I think when you eliminate everything and then you add something back in, your body will either accept it or reject it. And I think that was the rejection. And when you feel like crap for so long, like physically like crap, and you don't realize it's these foods that it's doing to you that could be poisons in your body. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Well, once you get it out and then you put something back in, you can tell really what affects you. I will try black tea again, but and see what happens. Because maybe it wasn't the black tea that did that, but I don't know. It seemed pretty instantaneous.
Well, they say, you know, that tea and coffee can cause some GI irritation. So that's, you know, possibly just the irritation.
I don't know. I drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
So you always see my teeth yellow.
Well, I would
People think I'm a smoker and a black coffee drinker.
Oh. Well, I don't think your teeth look yellow, but
okay. That's
I think mine do. But I'm going to get mine whitened as soon as my Invisalign is complete, and it's almost. So my next question is, what does your family think? I already know this, but just for the audience, what does your family think of you doing carnivore? And do they do it, or, you know, just tell us about that.
Sure. So, my family is backing me up. My husband is backing me up all the way. He orders all the food. Actually, if you looked in our fridge, you would think we were basically 100% carnivore in this family. It's like full of meat. There are fruits for the kids. We have some other stuff for the kids in the house, but like spaghetti, but we don't even make it, for instance.
Yeah.
And then let's see. So they're not technically carnivore, but we've all become like very much more meat eaters. And even when I started, we were still buying vegetables and we were wasting them. Like we're buying vegetables because my daughter, who's 5, likes salads, but it's better. We're wasting way less food now. So I'm happy about that.
Do you find that you wasted so many more vegetables than you would ever waste meat?
Yes.
I mean, because you would just throw meat in the freezer. If you can't eat it, just throw it in the freezer. Cook it, you know, in a couple weeks.
Yeah, but, exactly.
Those vegetables, they just, I mean, so much wasted money.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So much wasted money. It's really true. Or I would be like in my like good old keto days, I would be on I'm going to eat tons of salad. And then I wouldn't feel so good after eating it. And then the vegetables that remained would just sit there and rot.
Yeah.
But I would say, I don't think I would waste like a lot of lettuce, kale, all these things, but I ate a lot of onions. I could eat raw onions. I don't know if I'll do that now, but I used to love eating like raw onions with tomatoes. And I don't really know how good that actually is for your body.
I mean, I don't think it's bad. Well, I guess
who
it
knows?
Just depends on, you know, what your particular body is into, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So everybody supports me. Oh, I want to say, so my mom, she's a vegetarian. She's a 99.99999% plant eater. She wants to keep
I saw your interview with her.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So she's backing me up. I'm sure she would like me to eat vegetables, but she has no problem.
Go Mama. That's awesome.
Even though she doesn't say she's vegan, so I won't call her vegan, but 99.999.
I noticed that too. I noticed that she said plant-based.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we're gonna respect the title there, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because she wears leather shoes.
Oh, she does.
Great. It's better for the environment.
You know what though? To each his own. I mean, one of my very dear friends is a vegetarian. She actually lives right next door to me. Oh, and I just recently told her that I was carnivore, and she's just like, okay, sounds good, and
Nice.
and then I jokingly said, oh, a carnivore is good friends with a vegetarian. Isn't that funny? And she does it for animal rights reasons. So,
Okay,
you
like my
know,
mom.
it was kind of like telling her,
Yeah.
but she's supportive, she wants what's best for me, and she knows that I'm a grown adult woman and can make my own choices, which I think
Yeah.
everyone should do. We
Yeah,
should all just kind of
exactly.
stay out of each other's diets, except for to maybe, inquire about, what do you do? But the criticisms and the policing,
Oh yeah.
that is so high school. That's elementary school.
It's elementary. It's junior
Yeah,
high,
it
elementary. Yeah,
really is.
exactly.
It's very middle school. So that leads me into another question that I had that I
Sure.
actually didn't even write down. I just happened to think of it when you were saying, when you're talking about, wasting money, throwing things
Yeah.
away. So most people who hear that I'm on a carnivore diet, they say, oh, that's so expensive. I could never, that's just, how do you afford to do that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not as expensive as you think, one. And two,
Hmm.
um, I'm not buying all that other crap, you know.
Right.
I mean, I still am for my kids and my husband if they want it, um, but I don't know about you, but I have noticed that I'm actually saving money in a lot of ways. So, have you noticed if you're spending more or saving more, or,
So
just,
I don't know because I don't keep track of it. I'm so bad, but I was thinking of doing a video about it, like going back and looking because we put all of that on one credit card. So I could
oh,
go
okay.
look at the statements and see how much I was spending like the 3 months prior compared to like or the 4 months prior compared to now. Um, I mean, we're buying less fruit now, even we're buying less other stuff, and we're mainly buying meats. And I think if it's not, I don't think it's more expensive, but if it's not like less expensive, I'm not spending more money. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like we're just
Well,
possibly replacing it.
and then I guess my question is more, all around money
Yeah.
saving, not just like on the particular foods at the grocery store, but like
Oh, okay.
I have discovered I'm saving money because I'm not ordering out 20 to $40
Mm-hmm.
meals every time I work,
Yeah.
which was totally ridiculous. I should have never done that.
Yeah, it's a lot of
I'm
money.
not going out to restaurants
Mm-hmm.
because why would I? I can cook something better here.
Sure.
And I will be so disappointed if I go to a restaurant and it's just kind of mid,
Sure.
you know.
So I'm kind of lucky there in that I know where there's really good steak restaurants here, and we still go eat to steak restaurants
Yeah.
because they're really good. And I know I hear people say I make better steaks at home. I don't. I make okay steaks and I will eat them and my kids like them, but I much prefer the restaurants we found. So I think I just need to
Yeah.
get better at it. But
Well, and it depends on what restaurant too. I mean, we all
sure.
know that there are some really good steakhouses out there, and I'm no chef.
Yeah.
But when you go to your basic,
Oh
uh,
yeah. Denny's.
basic American restaurant,
Yeah.
or chain, especially, those are,
Right.
I can definitely make better steak for me.
Sure. Oh yeah. Then any of those, absolutely, it's gonna be better. But if
Yeah.
you go to like a steakhouse or a steak or a restaurant that's known for that, they make them really good. And
Yeah.
I stopped asking if they cook them in seed oils because they're usually cooking them on a grill,
Yeah.
and they're just delicious, and I don't feel any bad effects afterwards. Oh yeah. So in Chicago, we have the standard Greek restaurants. Have you ever heard of that? Is that reaching you in Ohio? The standard Greek
I'm in
restaurants?
Kentucky.
Oh, you're in Kentucky. Sorry, who was I
Yeah.
talking to in Ohio? Oh, Tom. Another guy is in
Oh,
Ohio.
no,
No, but in
I'm in
Chicago we have
Kentucky.
that term, the standard Greek restaurant, but it's just, the standard American diet restaurant with some
Oh,
gyros.
no.
No, okay.
So I don't know if we told everybody where you're located, did we?
Oh, we didn't. We didn't.
Whoever watches this, you need to go over to Alia's channel and watch her interview with me, and you'll get like the other half of the story because,
Yeah.
we've been talking for a little bit. So we,
Yeah.
kind of know some things that other people might not be privy to.
Yeah, exactly. I live
Um,
in South America. I live in Colombia. I've lived here for 7 years. It's very nice.
I bet it is. I would love to travel there.
You're
Okay.
quite welcome. We have extra beds.
Oh, that would be so cool. Like, bye, honey. I'm,
Yeah.
just gonna hop on over to Colombia. Okay, so now these questions are more geared towards YouTube because
Sure.
that is one of my special interests,
Sure.
carnivore or low carb, keto, and YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, so who are your favorite carnivore your YouTubers? And you can just,
Oh.
name off like about five of them. Let's go with the big ones first, like the bigger platforms, and then you want to do five and then five smaller,
So yeah, I'll just
or
tell you the
however
guys that I
many.
watch. So I
Yeah.
love Dave Mack at Zero Carb, No Carb Life. Oh, so there's a girl named Zero Carb, and she's got some good stuff. And she's huge, Kelly Hogan. But
Oh
that's
yeah,
not on
yeah.
my list. That's not on my list actually. So
Well,
No
and
Carb
listen,
Life.
we don't have to limit them. Just rattle off
Okay.
some. How about
Okay,
that?
so we got No Carb Life. I love Carnivore Quest, Larry and Cassie. I also like, so those are the two bigger ones. I think those each have like 30,000-ish subscribers. And then like, oh, Dr. Barry and Dr. Chafee, I listen to them all the time. So those will be like the
Yeah.
biggest ones, those two guys, and then the last two I mentioned, and other people that I have listened to and or collaborated with. So Carnivore Kip has a special place in my heart because I clicked on one of his videos one day and I just loved his content. And then
Yeah.
we started chatting like us, like you and I, on Facebook and also in comments. And no, actually we started chatting Facebook later. So just in comments back and forth, and just him doing his channel inspired me to do my channel. Actually, I'm like, if this
Oh, that's
guy, look how
awesome.
brave he is with this big heart, and he's so awesome. If he can do it, I can do it. Was my thought process. And
He reminds me of my cousin.
he reminds me of my
So
brother.
he just reminds me of like just, a normal dude that, happens to do YouTube. And
Yeah,
I
he's
love
so
that.
great.
That's
Exactly.
that's my goal as, in doing YouTube, is to just come across like, yeah, that's like my cousin or something, because all these perfect houses with, perfect kitchens and Instagram worthy, that's not ever going to be me.
Right.
So, but I think there's a place for that.
Sure, sure. Yeah, it's called the Kardashians. No, I'm just joking. Which I don't watch.
No, I mean, there's a place for people like,
Oh, like us.
us,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
normal. Like, I think people are trending towards wanting to see the real. Like, we're tired of
Right.
phony. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I'm tired of
Sure,
phony.
sure.
I'm
Yeah,
tired of all
yeah.
the fake. I want to see the real. Give me the dirt.
The true stories, not the
That's
scripted
right.
true stories. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
So so there's Kip. Let's see. Oh, so one day when I had 28 subscribers and he had just passed the 1,000 mark, he did a post on his community page. I didn't even ask for this.
Kip did.
And Kip did. And he said, go check out Alia's channel.
Oh,
And that got me over in one day 100 subscribers. And I just thought that was like the sweetest thing that anyone
oh,
could have
that is
ever
really
done.
sweet.
Yeah, it was very awesome. um Intentional Carnivore, which I always like read International Carnivore, Sean White, he's got great stuff. Carnivorous Me, I started watching her stuff also, and
Oh, yeah, I love her.
she's got a great story. Who
Amanda.
else? I'm missing people. I am missing people. Who am I missing?
Well, I'm going to name
uh
some too, so you can
okay,
tell
good.
me if but I'm
Okay,
going to let
good.
you go first. So you keep
Sure.
going.
Wick Goes Carnivore, I like Wick Goes Carnivore, he's a new
Yeah,
YouTuber also.
I watch him also. I think it was through
So
you, that I
oh,
found.
okay.
Usually I go through all my carnivore, people that
And
I
Kim,
follow, and
watch Kim. I like Kim's stuff.
I haven't done as much as I need to. I
Yeah,
did really good on my sardine fast videos. I felt like I was really pumping those out, and I just
yeah,
had that brain power during that. But after that, I was like, okay, we're going on vacation.
yeah,
So I'm really big on posting shorts. I've done
yeah.
TikTok for 3 years, since the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
And it was my outlet. It was
Yeah.
what enabled me to be okay with seeing myself on the screen and not cringe and not hate my voice. And like, it was
Mm-hmm.
therapy for me. So,
Right.
you know, it's got a special place in my heart, short form video. But yeah, keep going. Sorry.
I'm just trying to think, did I get them all? I think I already covered
Like,
them. I feel
what
bad
about
if I
any
forget
bigger
somebody.
ones? Like any bigger ones that you watch at all?
I started watching Professor Bart K.
Yeah, I like him.
Uh, he's got some good points. Let's see. The biggest one would be Ken Berry, Dr. Ken Berry, but
Yeah,
um,
he is my ultimate babe. Do you watch Nisha?
once in a while I start watching her stuff. Yeah,
I love
because she's
Nisha.
got
Like,
good yeah, I like her too. She's got babies, so
yeah, and she's just so relatable to me, and
yes.
it's just so funny how, you know, she's married to Dr. Berry, but she's like, if I want to have a drink with some electrolytes, I'll have a drink with some electrolytes, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Or if I want
She's
cheese, I'm
not
gonna eat
trying
cheese.
to, you know, she's not trying to portray an image that's totally phony, you know,
Right.
not pretending that she doesn't do that and then doing it. She's letting us know, which I mean, I for one appreciate. And I think that, like she said on her video a couple days ago, women in the carnivore space, we seem to be, and not downing the men at all, but we seem to be more realistic about about like, okay, yeah. Well, I feel bad for saying that already, but but we seem to be more like practical about it, should I say? Like,
Right. Sure.
okay, you know, I'm not going to say anything about the seed oils. If I get a little bit, it's not the end of the world, you know,
Right.
or
Right.
whatever you're okay with.
Sure.
But
I know if I like when I started, my kids were still eating KFC, but this weekend I drew the line. I'm like, nope, we're ordering you guys a steak. So
awesome.
I would try to eat some KFC and I would like, peel off the bread, but I know what it's cooked in.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, being
and
from
there would still be
Kentucky, you
bread
know,
getting in there. Yeah, exactly.
I
And
feel
I know
obligated to eat KFC, but I don't.
the Colonel Sanders. No, but now I just don't even go there. And I'm not gonna say, oh, actually, because I ate that little bit of KFC, I haven't actually been doing carnivore. Oh, that would be one of the
Yeah.
times that I cheated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's still gonna be bread particles on it.
I
But
mean, it is what it is. And that's where
yeah,
I'm saying, like, women, we tend to be more like forgiving about that kind of thing. It's like whatever situation that you're in at that time, I think that you should try to do the best you
right,
can in that particular situation. If
right,
you're at a barbecue and all they have is KFC, I'm going to peel the breading off and eat
yeah,
the chicken. It's not
yeah,
the end of the world, you know, for
sure,
me. Now,
sure,
everybody's different and everybody has different tolerances as far as like what their body will tolerate and then also
yeah,
what they want to tolerate, you know, themselves. And
yeah,
that's their
exactly,
business. They're adults.
right, yeah,
You know,
exactly,
I'm kind of a live and let live type person. I like to not get too far into anybody's business with how they deal with their diet. So,
right.
okay, so I was told you I was going to tell you mine. So, are you finished?
Oh yeah, I'm done. And I'm
Okay.
sorry, anyone watching, if I should have mentioned you and I didn't, I have you in my heart,
They're
okay?
never going to forgive you. I'm kidding. I'm sure I'll forget a lot too. But my big ones that I always watch, and the entire reason that I ever tried carnivore is Dr.
Yeah,
Berry.
yes,
Dr. Berry and Nisha both, and I've watched them since, oh gosh, I've watched them for probably 5+ years.
yeah,
They talk about a video of where they went to the movie theater and they did a live in their car. I saw that video. So, you know, when it happened. So,
nice.
I've been watching them for a long time. Love, love, love. I have to listen to Dr. Berry at least once a day. Um, but anyway, so Dr. Eric Westman, love him. Are you familiar with him?
Mm-mm.
He
But I
runs
might
the
write it down.
obesity, he runs the obesity program at Duke University, which
Okay.
now is called the Keto, um, it's called the Keto program or something to that effect.
Oh,
They've
okay.
let him change the name finally, but he's
Yeah.
very well educated and very, professor-ish.
Yeah.
But I could listen to him all day. Um, Dr. Chafee, I like him. He seems very relatable.
Mm-hmm.
He's a surgical resident, right?
Right. I think so.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I work with surgeons. That's what
Okay.
I work in the recovery room. So I have a special place in my heart for surgeons and anesthesia docs. I think they're naturally the best. But let's see, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Annette Bosworth. I love her.
Okay.
She's the one that started the sardine challenge. So
Sure.
um, yeah, I love her. Let's see. And I see what you mean now. I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with the smaller ones. Um, Carrie at Homestead How.
Oh,
Do you watch
okay.
him?
Yes. He's kind of big though. He's got like 100,000 subscribers.
Okay, so yeah, I guess he is one of the bigger ones now. It's so funny though because I guess because he just started doing carnivore content recently and I
Right.
just found him like around
Yeah.
that same time. I just think of him as, like one of us. And
Yeah,
he's just so
exactly.
relatable and down to earth.
Sure.
And anyway, he allowed me to be a moderator in his chats during his lives.
Nice. Nice. Oh, and I'm
So
Kip's moderator, one of his
oh,
moderators.
are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no clue what I was doing, but I was like, I've got to be a part of this. And I really wanted to see about being a part of like his movie that he's doing, but I haven't, pursued it any further. So,
Sure.
but anyway, so him, so we'll put him with the big ones then.
Okay.
Okay, so one of my favorites is he has about the same number of subscribers that I have, and his name is Robert Bubba Baker.
Oh, I'm gonna check
Yeah.
him out.
And so I jokingly, early on in our little friendship, I called him my carnivore brother because I could just relate to him so much.
Hmm.
And he's just a super sweet guy. He's Canadian.
Oh,
And he'll
nice.
do his videos sitting out in the park or, in his truck. And sometimes his son will help him and interview him. But yeah, he's been doing really good. He's been super consistent and he just motivates me. He was, I think, close to 400 pounds.
Wow.
I don't think he was over 400, but he's lost 30 pounds and I think he started around, let's see. Actually, I think he's 13 weeks in,
Wow, that's great.
but he's just a super sweetheart. And he did a video on his, favorite YouTubers, and he included me. So he
Oh,
always tags me in his videos and stuff. He's just awesome. You should check him out.
I will. I
Um,
will.
okay, so let's see here. Who
Because he
else?
watches my content. I didn't even realize he has a channel.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I send him over that way to watch. Anytime I do anything, I have to tell him about it, because
Yeah.
we're carnivore brother and sister. So
Yeah, exactly.
let's see here. Who else? All the people you mentioned, um, Kip, intentional carnivore. There's an older lady, I think she's in her 70s. I can't remember what is her name, like ketogenic woman or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know who that
It's
is.
funny because I recognize them when I see them, but then now that I'm on the spot, I should have made a list, huh? But yeah,
Yeah, because
I really
I've
like
got three
her.
more. I got three more for the
Okay, who?
list.
Who?
Okay, so you guys need to go over and check out the Frugal Prepper and Garage. It's Tom. He's got some great carnivore content. He's been a YouTuber for like 12 years, but he talks a lot
I
about carnivore.
think I've
There's
seen his stuff before.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's so nice. He's the one who's in Ohio.
Okay.
And then we got Carnivore Ron, and he's been doing carnivore for many years, 5 years, and he's 71 years old, and he is
Oh yeah, watch him.
amazing.
Yeah, like him.
And last but not least, and if I forget anybody else, carnivore couple, Caitlin and Patrick. They're very cute. They live in Nebraska. Oh, semi-retired Bob. The list just
Oh,
goes
yeah,
on
yeah.
and on and on.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm actually looking in my YouTube because, okay, Sean Baker,
Oh
he's a
yeah.
big one. I don't even know how I forgot this. Michaela Peterson.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
for
her.
sure.
She's awesome. I like this Stephanie Keto person. I don't know if I think she did do the carnivore diet. It's hard to keep track of whether people are just keto or carnivore. So,
Sure.
but Amanda at Carnivorous Me, she's probably, her and Homestead Hell, they're probably the ones that I watch the most often. And then you, of course.
Oh,
And
thank you. I appreciate it.
I met you in, whose chat was it? Was it
Kip's. It was Kip's
Kip's?
chat. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you messaged me and I was like, what? Let's see here. Who else? No Carb Life. Oh, Steak and Butter Gal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at all these people.
Yeah, there's a lot. There really are. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot more than that. And like you, I don't want to leave anybody out. And I'll probably be kicking myself when I get off here, but I got in my brother, so that's my
There you
main
go.
one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, next question. Let's see here. What do you think of the carnivore community on YouTube? What are your thoughts?
I think that it's amazing. I would have never imagined in 100 years a million years that I would have met all these amazing people, and we all have like the same goal and purpose. We want to,
Yeah,
improve ourselves and help other people. And there's just so much love. And I'm blown away,
I
actually.
know.
Never
Me
had that
too.
idea. Never,
I
I
think
mean,
that it
yeah.
I think it really is it's a lot different from even the keto community. Have you experienced that, as far as like there used to be a lot of keto police around,
I
and
was
I've
about to
noticed
say
that with
that.
carnivore, I think it's like a certain kind of personality that carnivore attracts. Like we don't
Right.
I can just say this on my channel, but we don't
Sure.
half-ass things. We do it, like if you're going to
Yeah.
only eat meat, you have to be pretty strong-willed.
Right. Right. Oh, wait. I totally agree with that. And at the same time, I'm like, but it's so easy to just eat this way at
It
the same time
is.
and not mess it
It
up.
is.
In keto, no wonder you have the police, because it's so easy to fall off.
Yeah, and that's probably a lot of it, truth be told. I mean, I'm sure there are people who are super judgy in the carnivore space. I know
Yeah,
they're out there, especially on Twitter, which I don't go to Twitter ever.
for sure.
I hate Twitter. But yeah, I think that it's just such a welcoming community. And I mean, it's not really, excuse me, it's not really even a community. It's just it becomes one because
Right.
we all are watching each other's stuff, and you don't see a lot of other areas on YouTube where people watch each other's stuff so much and cheer each other on. And I just think it's
Yeah,
fun.
it's very
It's
special.
exactly, yeah, it is. It's exactly what
Yeah.
I needed, to keep me on the straight and narrow. No, no, I'm
Yeah, me
kidding.
too.
Not
I
on the straight and
understand.
narrow, but okay. So, what do you think of the online trends with carnivore, such as sardine fast, things like that? There's been a lot of criticism online lately, and not of the sardine fast in particular, but just,
Sure.
one person does something, says, hey, let's have an egg fast or whatever, and then everybody else follows. Do you think, what do you think about that? There's been a lot of criticism of that lately. And, you know, just
Um,
personally, I think it just adds to the fun and,
sure.
something
I
to
think
talk about. But
well, yeah, exactly. That's why people are talking about it either positively or negatively.
exactly, yeah.
I wasn't doing the sardine fast as like a trend. Actually, I did it to do a YouTube video, but I actually thought it was going to benefit me, but it did the exact opposite. So
Yeah.
there you go. But I think it was the oil. I think the oil wasn't good. So, and I've talked
Oh,
about this
yeah.
before.
Yeah. And go
No,
watch her
whatever.
video on the sardine fast.
So
You can
if
see
you
how
don't
she
want to
did.
do it.
No, people need to see the good, bad, and the ugly. It's not
Oh
for
yeah,
everyone,
that's
right?
true. Yeah, that's
So,
true. That's true.
you know,
But I don't know. I don't, I don't really follow the trends. I was just really interested in doing that sardine thing.
yeah.
But I don't know. Everyone's eating steak. Most of us are just eating steak. I don't know how many trends you can make. Eat
Exactly,
bacon for a
exactly.
month. I don't think I would like to eat bacon for a month. Maybe I'll do a video. I only ate steak for 24 hours, and this is what happens.
You need to, because that would be nothing for us. We'd be like, what is she going to talk about in this video?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
everybody else in the world would be watching like, what? You
Yeah,
only ate
exactly.
steak? How could you do that?
For 24 hours, you can't
For
eat steak for
24 whole
breakfast.
hours? What? I do that like every week. Let's see. Okay. Have you always been interested in having a YouTube channel, or is it just become a space for you to talk about carnivore? Um, you know, how did that, you kind of touched on it, but how did that really come about?
So yes, many years ago when I was pregnant with my son, and I never thought before of this, I never thought about doing YouTube. My sister's like, you should do a YouTube channel. You can make a lot of money doing YouTube because I have a friend that does. And so that statement about making a lot of money on YouTube, don't bank on it. But I've since then been interested in doing YouTube, and let's see. I just never found anything enough that I loved enough to keep talking about. Does
Yeah,
that make sense? And somehow
same,
I
same.
love this so much that I can just keep talking about it. And so I did have a little YouTube channel before I started talking about credit cards because I do like credit cards, but again, it wasn't enough to keep me going with everything else that was going on in my life. But this
Yeah.
is really important to me to get the message out about how this could help people and how much it's helping me. So I was able to
And
stick
just
to
to
it.
normalize it, right? I
Yeah, and
mean,
to normalize it
that's,
and unnormalize all the bad stuff that we continuously
yeah,
poison our body with and we don't even realize. So it's almost like I wish I had more time to make more videos faster.
yeah. Like so many people are so quick to say, "Oh, you're going to get, you're going to get heart disease. You're eating nothing but meat. What?" But then they don't ask the person next to me that's eating the plate full of donuts,
Right.
aren't you worried you're going to get diabetes or heart disease?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Totally crazy.
So
Like it's so
it's like
strange.
opposite world or something. Um,
Bizarro world.
yeah, for real. What advice would you give someone who wanted to start a YouTube channel and talk about keto or carnivore? Any
Um,
tips?
I would say get that camera out and start recording. That's what I would say. I would
Yeah,
also say there's a video that every YouTuber needs to watch, and it is called, I forgot what it's called, but it's by a channel called Veritasium. And just do Veritasium and like clickbaits and watch that video because that's going to give anyone the basics they need on how to start, get people to click on your videos. And I'm not even
yeah,
fantastic, but I think the most important thing is just start recording and talking because people will click on it,
yeah.
especially
You
if
know what I
they,
didn't realize was the titles and thumbnails had to be so important, that they were so important.
they're
Um,
literally more important than
they're
the
like,
actual video.
I know. It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy. And the getting into the meat and potatoes within like the first 15 seconds.
yeah,
I mean, who
exactly.
would have known that you weren't supposed to
Yeah,
say, "Hi guys, I'm back. I've been on vacation. Sorry if you haven't seen me in a while."
yeah.
People are like, "Click
Like,
off."
yeah.
I love YouTube though. I actually just study it, and I have a lot more knowledge up here than I have applied online. So
Right.
hopefully one of these days my actual doing will meet my, knowledge base. So, but I'm always
It will.
fascinated to hear other people's, stories on it. Last question.
Mhm.
Do you have any channel advice for me? Anything you particularly like or dislike about my channel? Just just constructive criticism,
Sure.
and you know, just go
Oh,
for
you're so
it.
cute. I would say watch that video. I will even send it to you.
Okay.
On I think titles and thumbnails. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I get like 100 views sometimes. My best video has 7,000 views, like a long form video.
That's
And that
really
one,
good.
yeah, thank you. But that thumbnail and title somehow made people want to click on it. So I got to get back to that one. But yeah, every YouTube like learn how to do YouTube channel says work on your thumbnails and titles. But I love your content. I listen. I'm like, I wish I could just talk like she does. She's so good at
Oh, thank you
it.
so much. I
Yeah,
feel
you're
so
welcome.
nervous today because this is not my format at all. And
Sure.
I probably would have never interviewed anyone had it not been for you sending me that email. So I really appreciate that.
Oh,
And,
you're
you kind of
welcome.
got me out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone is to record like tons of stuff and then just chop, 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 chop and smash it all together. And that makes it, just so much easier to make yourself look a certain way, or
Sure.
just cut off the, uncomfortable parts. And even though
Right.
there are parts of this I'm going to cut out for pauses and stuff, um, it's not a comfortable situation for me.
Oh,
And
okay.
so,
Well, you did great.
that's why I'm like, okay,
For me, this
thank
is a lot
you.
easier interviewing people than making my other content.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
That's
love hearing the
crazy to me.
stories because
I
I
mean,
like to talk to somebody.
yeah, and I love to just talk, but for me to have to be in the place of, oh gosh, I've got to come up with good questions, interesting questions, different questions, and then ask you, and then know when you're done answering the question. Like it's just, ah. Oh, I was wanting to tell you I am going to do an interview with Robert Bubba Baker soon. He's going to
Nice.
be my next one. So
Awesome. I will watch it.
hopefully I can come up with some good questions for him as well. I might use the same ones. I don't know.
They
But
work. They
anyway,
work.
anything else that you want to add or tell anybody about carnivore or, just add to the end of this interview that I didn't
Sure.
ask?
Sure. I would say like when you come to carnivore, people come to like lose weight, and that's great and it's gonna happen. But really it's like repairing of your body. You're eliminating all the crap and your body's gonna just start healing. And I highly recommend, and I'm trying to do this myself now. I wish I would have started it at the beginning. Make a list, start making a list of all the changes you notice in your body, good or bad, and just keep that list there because for instance, like I have, as of yesterday, lost 27 pounds and I've been on this since, in 4 months. Other people have lost 100 pounds almost in that
Yeah,
same time period. And I'm like,
I know.
you could compare yourself to somebody else, or you can compare yourself to how you were before you started. And if you know how you feel now versus before you started, that list that you have is going to keep you going because the negatives, I guarantee, are going to be a lot less or almost non-existent compared to the positives. And you're
Yeah.
just going to feel so much better. So be patient if you're here for the weight loss because it will happen, but your body's going to prioritize what it wants to heal first. And the weight might be one of the later things. I will say that I think like the first month, I lost 20 of those 27 pounds. So
Oh,
I
wow.
could have, or maybe 18 or something like that. It's on my YouTube channel. I documented when I
Yeah.
lost what
Check out
weight,
her
but
YouTube
yeah,
channel.
thanks.
We have a minute and a half left.
Oh,
So,
okay. So let me just wrap this up real quick. The point is that I lost most of the weight the first month or month and a half, and it's been slow going since then. But I have all these other successes that keep me in line. And also, I don't want to eat any other way. I feel so good eating this way. It's not a diet. It's not
yeah.
actually like a diet where you're going to stop in 30 days once you reach your ideal weight. You're just going to keep going because it's the proper way you're supposed to be eating for most of us. Maybe it's not 100% for everybody, but if you're here, you're looking into it, try it out. That's what I want to say. All right, there you go.
Well,
Before we lose our time.
I want to add to the end, we got a minute left. I
Okay.
want to add that if anybody has any chronic health problems, diabetes, autoimmune disease, any aches and pains, stuff like that, Try it for 30 days. I want to challenge you to try it for 30 days and then get back to us and tell us what
Yeah.
happened. And
Yeah,
then you can
absolutely.
stop. I mean, it's not a big deal. If you want to stop, you stop. But anyway, got to head out of
Okay.
here. So thanks,
Okay.
Alia.
Yeah, you're welcome. Talk to you later.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks for watching, guys.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.